Hi there, it's Tracy here from the Papercraft Studio. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm going to show you how to make this Hippest Hippos spinning card. Okay, so I need to hold it upright in order for her to spin properly. Let's just see if you can see here. There we go. If I hold her down a bit, she's just going to slide. But yeah, you can see. Here she goes. Okay, so, and I'm using Hippest Hippos from the Celebration brochure. Celebration runs until the end of August, and with a £45 spend you can choose this Hippo stamp set, and with another £45 spend you can choose the dies that go with it. And the dies are amazing as well because you get little flowers and hearts, umbrella and stuff. And then I've also used for this card, the background is another Celebration item, and it's these papers here. So you get, I've actually got the bits of mine that are chopped off. You get silver and gold spots, silver and gold stripes, and they come in 6x6 pieces of cardstock. So for my classes doing this, I have lots of these left. These are the offcuts, so I'm going to make some labels for Christmas tags. Okay, so let me show you the supplies you need. She's so cute. Okay, so you need a piece of thick basic white cardstock, and this measures 5 3/4 by the width of A4, which is 8 1/4 inches, and I've just scored it in half. You need a piece of Parakeet Party cardstock. This measures 5 1/2 inches by 3 7/8 of an inch. You need a piece of Designer Series paper, and this measures 5 1/4 inches by 3 5/8. And of course you could use whichever Designer Series paper you've got. I just think these made a really good background. And then you also need some scraps of Tahitian Tide, Polished Pink, and Parakeet Party. And this is so we can do all these little die cuts here. These are the ones that we're cutting out, the grasses, the umbrella, the flowers and the hearts. This is the one that I've cut my hippo out of. And then I'm also using these dies here. These are from Sending. Are they called Sending dies? I think they are, yeah. So they go with the Sending Wishes stamp set in the main catalogue. But that was perfect for cutting this here. So I'll put all the details of the supplies I've used below in the description. Right, so first thing, is there anything else you need? No, I think that's it for now. So the first thing you want to do is attach your piece of Designer Series paper to the Parakeet Party layer. So go ahead and just attach that with glue, and try not to get too close to the edge because you really don't want any glue kind of splurging out when you cut the little section out in the middle, because it will make the plates on your cutting machine really sticky. And if you're doing this in a class, you don't want to have to be cleaning them every time in between. So go ahead and stick that on. And then, like I say, we've used this longer one from the Sending dies, and we're going to cut roughly in the middle like that. And you can pin this down. Mine's well used, so it's starting to bow a little bit, but I'm going to use some washi tape. If you don't have washi tape, a post-it, the sticky bit of a post-it will be fine. And I'm just going to pin it in place. That doesn't look quite straight. If you've got this in a kit to do your by post project from me, I've really tried to cut it essentially as possible for you. So hopefully you'll be happy with yours. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this. I'll be back with you in a second. Okay, so here we go. So you're just going to pop that middle bit out. You could use that for something, I'm sure. And then really carefully peel back your washi because you don't want to pull any of the Designer Series paper off. There we go. So there we have it. This is the little slot that the hippo is going to slide in, or spin in, I should say. Okay, so next thing, let me show you here. So I just stamped the hippo in Memento ink, and then I cut her out using the dies. But of course, if you don't have the dies, you can cut by hand. So I've gone ahead and cut one already. I'm just going to show you the colours I used to colour her in, and I'm using the blend pens. If you're using watercolour pencils, I would use you need to use Stays On ink, but with the blends you use Memento ink. Okay, so I started off here with just a little of the darker smoky slate just across here, a little bit just in the corner of her arms. Of course, you could just colour using regular felt tips, but I have to say these blends are amazing. And I use them on so many projects. With each colour that you choose, you get 2 in a pack. You get a light version and a dark version. But they do last a long time. So they're a great addition to your stash. So then the light smoky slate, I'm just going to now just go over this line, just little circles, just to blend those in. And you can go over the colour you've already done, it just makes it darker. And then I'm just going to colour her in like this. You can obviously take longer. And just do this for the video. And then coloured her little ears in grey as well. Left her eyes. And then the rest of her arm. And again, just blend that one in. It won't look blended immediately, but it starts to, when it starts to dry, that's when it blends. Okay. And then with her little tutu, I've used dark polished pink for this bit here. And then I just did the bottom in the darker colour, just to a certain point, and then I used the light polished pink just to give a little bit of tone here. I wanted her to be really zingy with these colours because obviously Parakeet Party is really bright, and also Tahitian Tide, so it's a really bright fun card. Just going to colour in, oh I forgot to colour her legs. Let's just colour her legs in light smoky slate. So I just did the light polished pink on her little ballet shoes. But I thought, when I saw the ballerina in here, I just thought, perfect. She can be spinning, doing her little twirls in the card. Okay, and then I used dark and light Mango Melody just on her little tutu up here. But obviously you can pick whichever colours. Like I said, I just wanted her to be really super bright. And then I just used a little dot of Tahitian Tide just for her eyes there. Okay, so colouring done, nice and simple. Let's get rid of those a second. So we're going to let her just dry off a little bit. The next thing we need to do is to put some big dimensionals, and also some of these dimensional strips on the back of the card. So this is how you want it to be. So you need 2 strips in the middle. It doesn't have to go the full length of this. Again, I'll put details of where to find the link to them. And the idea is, just going to find a penny here. You need 2 pennies, and that's going to make the slider. So you either need pennies, if you're in a different country, choose something that's a similar size that will just hide behind her, but also that fits, it's wider than the slot here. So when you're fixing these strips down, you need to leave more room for the penny. You don't want these touching the penny. So for example, on this one, you see there's a good gap there. They're nowhere near the penny, but they're not too far apart either. So that's what you want to be doing here. Have the penny there, and then just put your other one the other side, and then yeah, like I say, not too close, and try and get them straightish, so you're not then coming in and it's going to crowd the penny at one end, but that's fine. And then for the rest of it, you need some big dimensionals. And what I did was, and this is just to even up the card, the reason I did these strips in the middle and not the big dimensionals, these are slightly taller, and so they really propped it up, so the spinner worked really well. So I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4 along the top, roughly spaced, evenly spaced. You don't see what I mean, roughly evenly, that doesn't really make sense, but you know what I mean. And then also 1 either end here. So you don't want it touching the edge here, but you want the penny to stop. Okay. Well, it will stop at the end of here, but you don't want it too close to there. So peel these backings off, and then we're going to attach it to the base card without the penny. Now, in my classes, everyone was worried that they wouldn't get the penny in the slot. It's fine, we will. Maybe just try, if you're using different currency, that it will fit. So you could balance it in at this stage when we're going to stick it to the card, but we really don't need to if you're in the UK using pennies. Okay, so let's bring back in our card here. So we've got all these taken off. This is our card front, and the way I found easiest to do this was just to lay roughly these 3 edges in place and then roll this down so that you get pretty much an even border all the way around. If you try and put it straight on, it's a little bit tricky. Okay, so take one of your pennies and you're going to slide it under top or bottom, and then you're gently going to just pull this bit up and it will slot underneath. So you want your penny roughly in the center, top to bottom. Then this time you're going to get a mini dimensional, and this is important to get a mini, and you're going to stick it in the middle of the penny. Ta-da. Okay, and then you're going to get your other penny, take the dimensional off, and stick it directly over the top as best you can. I can't really see where I'm going with this, but let's, about there. Is that about right? Yeah. So you can see then that's going to create the spinner. I'm just going to bring mine a bit closer and move it to where it needs to be because I couldn't quite see. There we go. Okay, then you can go ahead and attach your little ballerina hippo, and you're going to do that with a big dimensional. So take her off a sec, pop the dimensional onto the penny in the center. Try and get her quite centrally on there as well, because she could get a bit top heavy one way or another. So try and get her in the middle so that she spins nicely. And I love this bit because in classes people are always like, wow, it works, and they're so happy. Okay, let's put her there. Let's have a look. Yay, there she goes. Like I say, if you try and do it flat like this, she will just slide. So to have her working properly, you need to have the card up as vertically as you can, and then she'll spin nicely. Okay, let's get rid of that a sec. So like I said, we're going to cut some bits out on here. So we're looking for the umbrella to go on the Tahitian tide. You want to cut 2 grasses out of Parakeet's Party, and then I've cut the hearts and the flowers out of this piece of polished pink. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Okay, let's bring all these pieces back in. Now with the hearts, it's quite easy to lose them, and I think I may have done. I've lost the smallest one. There she is. Okay, so with the little heart, I managed to sink her into here, a little bit fiddly, but don't prop her up. Sorry, I keep calling it her, it's a heart. Don't prop it up on a dimensional, just stick it flat with some glue. So what I did was just get a scrap of paper card, pop some glue on here, and then just turn the heart over. Take your pick tool or one of our old pokey tools, just get some glue on here and pick it up on the back, and you should be able to just slot that in that little gap there and just press that down. Okay, so there's the first heart, but you can arrange them however you like. And then I just floated the other 2 coming up here. So let's pop some glue on there. So I'm going to have one going this way. See if I can pick this one up. And this one up here. Super cute. Okay, and then with one of the grasses, I stuck it down flat with glue. You can just put it on that area there at the bottom. Let's get rid of that a second. So I stuck one down flat with some glue. And then the other one, it's got extra ones here. I popped a mini dimensional underneath. There we go. You just about get away with it. You can just stick them both flat if you'd rather. So a couple of grasses there, just offset. And then with these cute little flowers, again, just some glue, a little dot in the middle of each. and then choose which way you want to pop these. Put one here, and then, oops, I just want that one to come above it. There we go. And then this one just above this grass. And I've just popped a couple of regular rhinestones in there, but we'll do that in a second. Now with her umbrella, I found it quite tricky to attach because ideally I would have had her holding it there, but that meant this piece was too low. So what I've done, I've attached the corner of the umbrella to her ear, which means it's not strictly in her hand. You could chop the handle down a bit if you like, but I'm not too worried. So I'm going to get a glue dot and just roll it up and put it underneath the corner. So just get one here, just roll it up into a bit of a ball and stick it. I stuck it to her ear, and then I popped the umbrella just on the corner there. So she still looks like she's holding it, but it just meant that it would still spin nicely. Okay, spin her around. And then finally I'm using Let's Celebrate, and that's from the Simply Fabulous stamp set here. This one here, I love the font on these. And I thought it went really well with these kind of 60s looking flowers. So I'm using Tahitian Tide ink. You can see from my class where people have been stamping it quite vigorously. A piece of basic white cardstock. So ink it up, I've got that upside down. Stamp down. And then I'm using the smaller die from the sending dies, just about fits on there. And I'm going to cut that out. And again, just use some washi tape to pin the edges down in place. Let's get some here off of the other die. So you can use the same again and again. So it just about fits on here. I really like being able to mix and match stamps and dies to make sure I get loads of use out of them. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to cut, I think I need to move that up a bit to get the lets in. I'm going to cut this one, and then I'm also going to cut another one in just in Tahitian Tide. Okay, so that's going to go underneath here. So I'll be right back. Okay, so pop that one through the back, and I had already cut the Tahitian Tide one here. So there's two ways you can do this. You can either cut this one in half and then have a little coming out either end, and obviously on the back it would be in two pieces, or what I did on mine is just offset them like that and then stick them up here. So I'm going to do that again, just with some a little bit of glue in the center here, and then just offset them like that. More Tombow on the back. Just make sure it's not going to hit your little spinning hippo when she moves. So I'm going to pop that up there. And then finally we're just going to use some some rhinestones, like I said. Mine are a bit decimated here. But also we're going to use some other just see if I know the name of these. Actually, let's use these ones better. I'm going to check the name of these and put it in the a little flash up on the text here. They're in the main catalogue and I can't quite remember what they're called, but I'm just going to use one of the little blue ones here down at the bottom just to pick up the blue, and then I'm going to use some, use my take your pick tool. I'm going to pick up some dimensional, so I'm going to pop one here on her little umbrella, and then a couple in the middle of the flowers. Anywhere else? I think that's good. I think that's fine. So there we have it, my Hippest Hippo spinner card. I hope you enjoy making that. Take care. See you soon. Bye.